Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and we've got a long one today. It's my second take because I just don't want to fumble over myself as much as I did last time. So we're going to give it another go. We do have some messages. Since this is a throne rush, I'm going to disregard my nap with Berytos. Not attacking Zib yet, although he has one unguarded throne on my border. I honestly thought that was the throne he was going for. It's possible he will go with his own greed and try to kill Zan's elves instead of stopping me. Probably. The feeling when you have 4 cap mages diseased, and you get the random hero event with 2 healers. Very nice. Wouldn't be me, but I'm glad it happens to someone. I don't know if Helheim will manage to get to both forts before I storm this turn. I'm just going to yellow it, shadowboxing my ass. 2 at Lucid Tournament Battle of the Heims. I forget, was he in that? Let me look it up really quick. I'll pause. All right, so it looks like I don't think he was in that one. Hey, if you want to explain this, Lunaticman, that would be great. All right. And then Xibalba goes ahead and posts some stats. So if you want to go and kind of like backtrace that through the graphs, hopefully I remember to show those this turn. You can go ahead and do that. And we've got his research here. A little bit of evocation, some conjuration for summons, blood 4 for summons, thumb 4 for magic phase, enchantment 5 for horde of skeletons, and construction 5 for sanguine dowsing rods and other stuff. Notably on bats, a blood 1 with a sanguine dowsing rod actually hunts like a blood 3, which is really nice. It's a national perk for Xibalba. And this first battle, if I remember right, is really interesting. I've only looked at a few of these. So we've got this guy. He's got 2 armor-piercing weapons and a hat. And he's cursed because of this one, the Knife of the Damned. And then we've got a Lightning Spear Thug. I believe their script is going to be Mistform, Blessing, Luck, and Gift of Flight, or some combination of that. And then I think they jump in. This PD is going to be important. And over here, I think we've got Strength of Gaia, Mistform, and then this guy runs. And then this guy does Temper Flesh, Personal Iron Skin, and Elemental Fortitude. So I'll go ahead and play it, and then you can kind of see the spells pop up here. But I wanted you guys to know what was being cast. So notably, both these thugs land on the PD, and they don't land in the same square, which is going to be important. So you can see the mana course finished his script. All right, so the mana cores landed on this guy. Now this guy is fairly fatigued out. Unlike this guy's got a little bit less fatigue, although he does have Battle Fright. Battle Fright, can be important because the mana core has Fear 5. This mana core also has 20% regen because of his Ring of Regen. And with his 61 hit points, I think that puts him at, I think this is 7 per turn. I think he's got 13 somehow, though. Because what is it? It's probably 12 and then plus 1 for being 61. So I think it's 13, yeah. There we go. So the PAD is cleared up, but this elf has already been hit by death poison. So I'll let you guys see some of this stuff here, since you might be interested, because Helheim does have a pretty interesting bless. I suppose we can go through that really quick. It's the poison weapons, slowing weapons, the resist, including some poison res, but it's not going to stop death poison, blur, and MR. And notably here, let's see, where's the mana core? So this hit gets blocked, it looks like, by the... Looks like it just gets blocked by protection. Or no, he misses from blur, I think. Oh, hits on the shield though. Okay, but blur helps here. The mist form negates this. No, he just misses this. Okay. And then down here, we do get a stinger hit for 1. Which then turns into 29 points of poison damage from the death poison. Attack roll versus defense, damage roll. Mist form negates 13, but allows 1 through, so then we get the death poison proc. So just wanted you guys to be able to properly see that. So this elf with 5 poison res. Now the horse has 15. So the horse, I think, might actually survive that because the poison is damage over time. I think this elf is toast. And then we get a little bit of extra PD from the handful of acorns, just in time to distract this elf. So mana core gets stunned. I think he lands another hit. This elf now has a chest wound and a limp. It's got -1 magic bonus from fear, but still has a lot of morale. Unfortunately, it's just not doing enough damage against... Now, if I remember right, let's see, the lightning spear has a extra shock for 8 armor negating, but the actual spear isn't doing a heck of a lot, especially against 22 protection and 13 regen. And honestly, even the 8 armor negating isn't doing a lot. It would take both elves at the same time. So this elf is getting killed alone, while this one's dealing with the PD. And then right as the PD gets cleaned up, this other elf dies. And we see some cursed luck here. And then we've also got the slowed effect, which I'm not sure how that affects the stinger and the claws. We have a lot of misses from the mana core. Looks like the Vanyaroa got to do his attacks, and then the mana core got to do his attacks. Strike half as often. Okay. This guy is somewhat tired. Now, in terms of the stat penalties, you can see the poisoned effect. It's -8%. But it's just a lot of protection and a lot of regen. Gets him down to 50 hit points. He still has that high attack stinger, though, despite the poison. So it just has a big bonus, 5 attack. And then that elf flees. So we can see him routing on 16, but did have the full battle fright and just a fear -1. So a little unfortunate that he's flying away so early, even on 16 morale when he's got morale hat. And then for some of the people curious about some of the different roles that were happening, I'll go ahead and bring those up. So we've got a hit here for 21 points of slashing damage, so this was a claw. Misform negates most of it. Jarl gets affected by fear and runs. Ooh, attack 18 versus defense 18, so Blur coming in big there. The Jarl was generally hitting, just not doing enough damage. Kills a mirror image here. Big attack roll. Jarl does miss. Loses a mirror image to repel. That does suck. Passes a morale check. Manicore misses a couple of times. Jarl hits, lands Cursed Luck. Also lands some poison. Alright, and then we're at the Enkidu commander. For the other guy, let's see, this guy. Take a little bit of a look at him for those who are curious. So we have 25 points of shock damage, then dies from lingering poison. Unfortunately, that only takes 2 rounds for the mana core to recover from. We have a slow weapons effect here. Hits with a claw for 1. Oh, but it was misformed. That was the only reason it was down to 1. Got some lingering poison. Death poison up here. And yeah, we looked at this. All right, so hopefully that kind of showed off what was some of the mechanics that were happening here. I'll go through the mana core really quick too. But I don't anticipate it'll be that different. Just so I don't lose this particular interaction to maybe a patch coming out or something. But I want people to be able to look it up if there's some more discussion on it. All right. And so yeah, the mana core ends up killing 1. The other one runs. And we have a successful defense by in Silverwall. Notably, that was in the magic phase. And we've got Arouse Hunger coming in. It's just a little bit of PD. Higher quality PD probably would have won this battle. It was just enough ghouls. So ghouls aren't very good at fighting, but they did just well enough to clear this PD. And we have 2 fights in Kasevik Highlands. So we've got Hinnom rolling in with 2 cloud trapezing air elemental Ami. Trying to clear this Fomorian PD. These guys don't make it to the mages. So 4 air elementals is enough. And then Mekone rolls on in. But it's just a scout. Finding a scout, I guess. But, importantly, these guys still, because we're playing with that gem burn mod, these guys still have air gems. So we're going to get more air elementals. But it doesn't matter, the scout leaves. But that's kind of showing that in action. Then in Erd, we've got Illusory Army. So this is 8 glamour gems. From a fairly high glamour mage, I think you have to be glamour 4 to cast it. Now, unfortunately, I think these 2 mages should have been on advancing cast. Or 3 mages, I guess, or 2 mages and a commander. Because they end up just sitting back here, not doing a heck of a lot. And they could be misforming the stuff up here, which would be more useful. Although all this stuff has magic weapons, but in the interest of not necessarily knowing what you're going to get hit with, I think they should have been on advancing cast. Alright, and the Berserk and Kidu eventually roll through the remaining illusions. So 13 headhunters at 16 gold, traded for 8 glamour gems, I believe. This, I think it was just 1 cast. It might have been 2 casts. If it was 2 casts, then it was 16 glamour gems, which would obviously be in Ur's favor, but I'm not sure if it was 2 casts. Alright, what I think the 2 commanders means is 2 casts, but I could be wrong. Alright, Troll Canyons. We have another Arouse Hunger. So here, we've got one little holy one, but this is a lot of undisciplined jaguars for him to try and bless, so he's not going to get too many of them. And their main issue is they are 9 morale. I guess this one's 10 morale because it's blessed. Here's a reminder of the Xibalba Bless. Enchanted Blood, Undying, Blood Vengeance, Righteous Wrath Larger, Stormflight. And here we get a very unlucky morale roll for these Jaguars. Even at 9 morale, I feel like they should have passed. But unfortunately, these 3 ghouls are going to run just fast enough that all the Jaguars are going to get off the field, I believe. Yep. So, inconvenient for Xibalba. So he lost 7 plus maybe more in the retreat for the Arouse Hunger. Then in Griffin Rock, we've got another Arouse Hunger. So this is that kind of, I think it's part of the kind of interesting Xibalba parties I really like, where he has the Shade Bees, but there's no complement of Sacreds in this one. It's just, I think Shade Bees, maybe some Imp spam. Yeah. So he might get the commander with the Imp, although the commander's in the middle. Now it's behind. It does get the commander. So should clear this up just fine. Let's see, was that this one? No, that was Griffin Rock. Okay. Then we've got Ard. We've got Marverni attacking Hinnom. This is where Marverni's army is with his Pretender. So he's trying to unlock this. He does have Light of the Northern Star. He's brought the commanders out, okay, along with a bunch of the boars. And we've got a whole bunch of swordsmen and some boar warriors. Here's his Bless, Fate Weaving, Invulnerability, Shock Res. The Titan, Titan Trinity has air gems, and I think the same thug kits that we saw a long time ago. Then holding down the fort is Call of the Winds. So I think the best Marverni could hope for here was catching a mage, but did not even get that. Killed one great boar. Then attacks Uliatham. So we've got a number of Enkidu hunters here. Ooh. But they've run into a bunch of hell herdings. Is the prophet here? Or is he just not blessing them? He might not care about blessing them. Okay. I mean, these javelins hit pretty hard. And it's a really good bless. We'll see how it goes. Just relying on the elves' very high base quality. I don't think he's lost any yet. He's lost... A few of them got shocked, but I don't think any have died. Two of the Hell Herdings die. Okay. And then in Silver Fangs, we've got Xibalba attacking Helheim. So this is a merc company. We've got some more Imp Spam and Shade Beast. So he's got this very widespread line trying to catch attack rear Hell Herdings. Over here, we've got a Hangedrot with a fire sword, Death 3, who is twice born, and a Jarl Thug with a Pixie Spear, which has a bonus to fatigue, and reasonably high attack skill. And then also a Dream Spool. I am a little bit curious about the initial scripts for the Hangedrot. So we've got Personal Iron Skin, Soul Vortex, Temper Flesh, some Blessings, Shocking Grass, and some Luck. I think this is the PD commander. Then we've got Personal Misform, Shroud of Bewilderment, and Shockwave. So relying on the PD commander to bless, pretty cool. Now these Shade Beasts do have a magic attack, so they're going to help punch through Mistform once elves are harassed down. So for instance, this guy has a harassment penalty of 5. Even though probably a fair number of these guys, no, just one has the slowing effect. Kind of curious. Slowed, slowed, slowed. So this whole tile is slowed because they're in front of the elf. I think the elf on the bottom is just about to go. Jarl is down at 1 hit point. a limp and battle fright, 12 morale, 1 hit point in a dream. A few beast bats showing up. The horse dies to blood vengeance. And the beast bats are what pushed this guy over the edge. It's like, my horse is dead. I have 1 hit point. Get me the fuck out of here. This guy finally gets to finish his script and does invulnerability. So he would have been, with the invulnerability, he would have been functionally immune, I think, to... Wait. Clearly, I'm not sure if he finished his script or if he was just on something like Advanced Cast, but now he has protection versus mundane of 30. He already had very high protection from the Iron Skin, so I don't think it was scripted, but that definitely helped. Alright, so the Hangadrot and the Jarl managed to defeat this Merc company. Not sure if the Jarl will survive the retreat. The problem with picking up Battle Fright and then running is there's a morale check involved. I think you have to fail 2 of them when you retreat, but you're way more likely to fail those when you retreat if you have the Battle Fright Affliction, because it lowers your morale. So you're more likely to lose the commander on the retreat. Alright. So that was... No, this was here. Alright, in Silverwall, we've got an Air 1 mage with 1 air gem. Maybe doing a baby air elemental? Or just running away. Okay. Scripted to retreat. He was concerned for his safety. Where was that? That was here. Okay, he was pinging. In 1, I'm just going to call that 1. Hinnom attacking Fomoria. We have a Dust King. Hardy little trooper. Has 30 hit points and 10 protection. Tougher than he looks. Landing a few unblessed roughlights. We've seen a number of these unblessed parties from Hinnom just to be able to spread more stuff out there and control the raiding game better. He does have a really good bless, but the priests for Hinnom are not good at defending themselves. And his commander Rek must be pretty busy. Because I mean, I would try to get some praise. You could pair a priest with the Dust King to still try and bless these guys, but maybe the labs are busy producing mages. Alright, so that's... I think Hinnom play might benefit from an unforted temple, just to get indie priests to maybe pair along with commanders and bless stuff like this. But Hinnom often doesn't have a lot of money either. Alright, Mekone attacking TNG. We've got some Draconians going after, I think this is 1 PD. So trying to put a lid back on TNG. Mekone attacking Shadowglade from Fomoria. Or pinging it. Alright, just a little bit of PD. In Jaheira, we've got Fomoria attacking Mekone. A counter Draconian raid, going after 1 PD. That was here. In Erd, we have Helheim attacking Now, we had a magic phase battle earlier, and then that contingent with the 2 air mages must have moved away. And so now we've got PD against a Hangadrot, who's got a Stinger and a Copper Plate. The Copper Plate gets 6 HP, and that's why it looks like he's already hurt, because you don't gain the HP until the following turn. So you'll see his max HP is 21. He is twice-born, doesn't have any gems, but with Death 3 he can do Soul Vortex and Invulnerability, which will make him definitely a bit of a monster. Personal Luck, Blessing, because it is a nice bless, and maybe Mist Form. Nope. No, he doesn't have air. Never mind. So that was Charged Body going off from the Copper Plate. This guy could probably kill a fair amount of PD. He doesn't have Mist Form, so eventually he could get patrolled down, but he does have Soul Vortex. So he's way up at 28 HP now. Pretty scary elf. Alright. Then in the Forest of Long Nights, we've got attacking Helheim. So this is that same mana core, now with Battle Fright, and without his point buffer, but now we have 2 LLP scouts. At least I think it's the same mana core. Certainly it seems to have the same script. Also has Amulets of the Dead on them, and this is to give them undead leadership for the imps for the LLP. Although this also gives undead command. Oh, it gives him the spell Animate Skeleton, so just more chaff that he can do. That's what he's doing. Okay. Kind of turns that one guy into a bit of a raiding party. So yeah, Strength of Gaia, Temper Flesh, Personal Iron Skin, and Elemental Fortitude. And then we'll see him jump in. You can see all the imps coming out though. Opts for the 1v1 with the elf, kills it. And you can kind of see the amount of help that's coming for this mana core. Okay, very interesting raiding parties from I'm really liking them. Alright, so that was Forest of Long Nights. In Vath, we have Fomoria attacking Mekone. Elephant and 2 horse tribe. Okay. Very budget raid. Then in Scorpion Cracks, we have Xibalba going after Helheim. And on that previous raid, I think the 2 cavalry help HP sink the elephant, so if it is going to rout, it's just from the squad morale penalty. So we have some imps and shade beasts. Over here, though, we have a Hang-a-Draw with an Earth Gem, a Glamour Gem, a Morale Hat, a Shock Trident, Iron Will for increased MR, so it's way up at 23 MR. Gonna have to kill this one, not gonna be able to soul slay it. Soul Vortex, Temper Flash might get interrupted. What did it get off? Personal Iron Skin, Soul Vortex, Temper Flash. Alright, and that seems to be the script. Although it did have a Glamour Gem, so I do wonder if it was interrupted. But it's up at 22 protection, which should do a lot for minimizing reanimating bite. Now, along with the Soul Vortex, although undead aren't going to be affected by the Soul Vortex. I don't think. Although he's gaining HP. Does he have regen? Is he really... Plus 3 HP from draining? What are you draining off of? I didn't think Soul Vortex worked on undead. Let me go look that up really quick. Oh, sorry about that. I'll replay this battle. Accidentally unpause the battle before... where are we? Before unpausing the recording. Is it here? No. I think we were further down. Here? Okay, Scorpion cracks. I wonder, maybe it just doesn't work on inanimate. Yeah, it's probably based on the inanimate tag. Okay. So he is... Wow, he's only at 49 fatigue. So regaining a bunch, and is now up at 23 hit points. Still at 49 fatigue. .36 fatigue. And Xibalba rots. Let's see, so that was here. Alright, in Toledo, we've got Fomoria versus Mekone. So we've got a Furball champion against 1 PD. Let's see if he can champion his way through. Gets hit by the lance. Is not enjoying the 2v1. Okay, doesn't even land a hit. Or a damaging hit, I guess. Alright, then in Trentspore, we've got Mekone attacking, or Hinnom attacking Berytos. We've got a flying Melkart here with a flask of water, so he's blessed. So it has the draining weapons, precision +3, and berserker. He's also got tough skin for increased protection, so he's way up at 23 prot. Has a built-in magic weapon with the Dawn Blade. He's doing Fire Shield. Oh. And what is he attacking? Just PD. Couple of priests. Okay. So that's successful. Fomoria attacks Mekone. We've got another pack of Draconians. Pretty efficient. So that's the Farron Mountains. Then we've got Hinnom going into Mighty Pillars, also against Berytos. So a couple of Jade Priestesses, Holy One. So they're going to do some blessings. Alright. They should get a lot of this stuff. Probably not 100%, but enough. And yeah, they're just fighting PD, so pretty simple. In Felden Forest, we've got Xibalba attacking Helheim. Or a little Batab seeing what's home. Seeing what's on the cap PD. Let's see. Wait, was that here? Oh, sorry, that was Felden Forest, not the capital. In Liss, we have Helheim attacking Xibalba. Oops, it would help if I could click them. So we just have a Hellcarl with a couple of Glamour Gems. Gonna do some group luck. Still has one Glamour Gem. Very budget raid. I'm loving all the creative raiding people are doing. From the most budget to some of the most intricate. Alright. So that was... Oh gosh, I'm getting lost. I think that was Liss. In Giant's Rest, we've got Helheim attacking. Alright, so we've got a whole army here. We've also got a Amber Clan for some water. The Pretender is here. So we have the Frost Father, Winter Haiku. Complete with Simulacrum. A whole bunch of Sacreds. They're in Dominion, so they're already blessed. And a bunch of Crystal Sorceresses. On the other side, we have Shade Beasts. We have the Celestial Soldiers, who are Sacred Mercs. That's their big selling point. We've got Jaguars. We've got this Celestial guy. We've got this guy with some Fire Gems, some Serpent Fiends. We've got Ocelotls. Now, there was some chat in the game chat, and so I did briefly look at the very beginning of this. And so we've got Slave 1, Slave 2, and Slave 3. They're all going to be Sabbath slaves. And then we've got M3, the Master. Now, I don't know where M1 and M2 went. But unfortunately, M3 does not have blood. So I think that was just a little bit of an oversight when he went to go look for it, because he was looking for a Holy 2 Mage to lead the Sabbath. And so there are blood slaves, and it's probably in his script, but he just doesn't have the blood path. So just a little bit of an oversight. Would have needed to use... I think these guys get a blood random. Would have had to take one of the blood variants. So unfortunately, this whole Xibalba army is not going to get blessed. So we're not going to pay a whole lot of attention to this army. And we're going to come back over here, see what Helheim does. So we've got a whole bunch of point buffs. We've got Group Luck, Invulnerability, Spell Ward, Body Ethereal, Dance of Ephemeral Swords, Fire Resistant Warriors, because there was a Fire Mage in this army. We've got some Earth Power. I'll go ahead and let this battle play, and then I'll probably maybe go through some and just see what spells they cast at the beginning, like we sometimes do. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. There's a little Svartov in there. And just a confirmation. You can see not blessed here. Although apparently Righteous Wrath and Larger still works. That's interesting. I didn't realize Righteous Wrath worked like that. Unless... yeah, so it does still work. I did not know that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Maybe it's because one of the blessed ones died. And it's proccing around them. It makes Righteous Wrath better in my mind. The Ocelotls are on the Communion. Pretender is surviving. And we have a route from Xibalba. I do think if he'd been able to bless his army like last term, I think he probably would have won this battle off of the back of Blood Vengeance. Certainly would have killed the Pretender, I believe. Alright, so really quick, while we've got a lot of the stuff on here, let's go ahead and just see what people are casting for those who are interested. We have some of the Xibalba national spells. I don't know what all these gifts and I think breaks. They've got a whole set of national spells. I don't know what they do. You can look them up. We do get a pain transfer Sabbath, which is pretty cool. It spreads the fatigue to the blood slaves around, so he can just go ahead and keep on casting some imps. And then it looks like his casting got interrupted because he got hit by 16 shock damage. Maybe then, oh, and then died. So that was the Sabbath Master. This guy retreated, but did some blessings. This guy also retreated. Nest of Salamanders is still around. Nest of Salamanders. This guy died. Tried to send Blood Vengeance back to the Frostfather, but the Frostfather has an insane amount of MR. I forget how the MR, the effective MR stuff works for Pretenders like that, but it's always, a lot of the time it's pretty crazy. Sorry, I think that was here. So he dies to Wrathful Skies. This was the other supposed to be Sabbath Master, but again, he didn't have blood, so he did Blessing instead. And then just did some stuff and almost died to Wrathful Skies and then decided to retreat. The Sabbath Slave is dead. Damage 9 HP. Okay, so blood spells. Or no, it probably was fire spells because it was off path. It does more than. Only 1 damage gets transferred by pain transfer. So if it's too off path and too much fatigue, then it'll start doing a lot of HP damage. I forget the breakpoints for it, but it might be like 1 HP for every 50 fatigue or something, or 10 fatigue, I forget, but has a bunch of HP taken off, which I think kills him. Or no. Yeah, kills this one. Also gets hit by Wrathful Skies, so that's why he's dead, and then he tries to Blood Vengeance. Oh, alright, so this 29 shock points is maybe the HP that got sent over to him too. Could be. I'm not as familiar with raw damage with pain transfer. I don't know, if somebody wants to explain how this is working to me, that would be great. Was sacrificed by... Okay. This one also gets hit by Wrathful Skies. Takes a lot of pain transfer damage. Oh, I think this is the Blood Slave. Okay, so this is the amount of damage that got passed on. He still took 9. Frostfather resisted the Blood Vengeance, but this one's still alive. Has some HP, is about to rout. This one also got shocked. Wrathful Sky is just going ham on this Mage Core. Ocelotl killed this guy. Nope, this one also died to Wrathful Skies. But did his job, cast fire resist warriors. I guess. Is that just the AoE 1? Or is that the... Maybe it's like AoE 3 or something? I'm not sure if that's the AoE 20. I could be wrong. Don't know what happened to this guy. He ran away though, but his log is gone. This guy got hit a couple of times by Wrathful and fucked off. I'm assuming... Alright, so we have a lot of Gift of Cheated Fate, Body Ethereal from these mages. I'm assuming they also died of Wrathful or Ocelotls, because Aussies did hit the mage line in the back. I don't care as much about these mages, so I'm going to skip them. The Frostfather did a phenomenal job resisting Blood Vengeance. Twist Fate negating damage over and over again. Interesting. I'm assuming this was on friendlies from the Gift of Cheated Fate. So this is saying he didn't kill his teammate. Then does Reinvigoration. Now the Aussies find him. I am kind of curious to see how many Aussies he killed. Sorry if it's boring for other people, but I am pretty interested to see what it looks like. Okay, so he kills this Serpent Fiend. There's so many things trying to hurt him. His protection is just holding up extremely well. We can see Personal Stone Skin come out. Repels. So he's got a lightning spear, it looks like. Hit with claw for 0. Hit with claw for 0. And these rolls don't... It seems like he should have taken more damage. Ethereal negated. Kills another Serpent Fiend. Oh, he's got Displacement, which is -5. That's probably a good deal of it. All of these protection values just keep doing just enough. Walloped an Ocelotl. Kills a Shade Beast. It looked like he killed a bunch of Ocelotls, but I'm not seeing that now. Maybe I'm just missing them. Hits one for 36. Okay, and cast Temper Flush. Interesting. Okay. Here's his kit. So he's got a winged helmet, Chainmail, Armor of Displacement. Displacement gives a 50% chance of missing, -10 to attack, their first attack against this unit. After that, all attacks get a -5 penalty to their attack skill. Units with Spirit Sight are not hindered. Do Aussies have... I would think Aussies have Spirit Sight, do they not? Let me pull one up really quick. No, they just have Dark Vision. Oh, so they are affected. Okay. And then we've got Chill 15. Displaced, Lucky, Body Ethereal, that helps. Temper Flesh, Regen. Okay. Wow, tanking Aussies with a Frostfather. We do have a Hang-A-Dry here with 2 Swords of Sharpness. He's twice borned. Vulnerability, Soul Vortex. I think that's the script that mattered. Hellcarl for Group Luck. Group Luck. Group Luck. Group Luck. Group Luck. Group Luck. And Group Luck. Mound King died to Wrathful Skies. Dance of Ephemeral Swords, Mist Form. Same. GSS. Oh, wait. And... oh, this guy's got nothing now, but this one had a GSS. Any other Thug kit? Okay. We have a White Mage. Summon Earth Power, group Stone Skin, Soldiers of Steel, Temper Armors. He is in Undying Land? Or dead? Oh, he's dead. Okay. I don't think they have Undying. I think that was Xibalba's Bless, if I remember right. You've got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they've got Undying. Alright. And that's the end of the battle. Wrathful Skies is going to try to take a little bit more of a toll as this battle wraps up. But... where was that? Was that Giant's Rest? Yeah. So Helheim loses a Amber Clan, 10 Crystal Sorks, and a Jarl, which is pretty significant mage attrition when you're in a 3v1 and his White Mage. So 13 mages, 14 Hellherdings, 9 Pegasus Riders, but deals a very solid blow to Xibalba, kills 6 mages, 49 Jaguars, 13 Ocelotls, and 19 Serpent Fiends, and 140 Shade Beasts. Alright. So, let's see. That was here. There's so many battles. Alright, in Valrest, right? Okay. Valrest, we've got Fomoria attacking Mekone. Alright, just a little furball grade. Showing off those Scales troops. Alright. Then in Cloudbreakers, we've got Tianchi. Is this the cat? It's the army, but not the cat. You have a Celestial Master with a little bit of Fire Res, which is good because these guys have a Heat Aura. Looks like just a mishmash of what's left, but going up against just PD. A lot of friendly fire. I was about to say a little bit, but it's a lot. Okay. Loses 27 Dispossessed Spirits and 3 Long Dead to PD that only got 7 kills. In Hagoria, we've got Hinnom attacking Berytos. This guy's got a Shade Mail. So we have a stealthy Melkart, the Grand Moth. He can act in an elf-like manner, so he can stealth. So False God's not going to be able to magic phase him. He'll have to try and mind hunt him. And he's got okay MR. It is mind huntable. I think it is possible to mind hunt to like 22 to 24 MR with pin gear, although typically it takes a fair number of rolls. 18 MR against pin gear, sometimes you can get them in like 2 or 3 rolls. It's been my practical experience. I'm not sure on the exact math though. I'm assuming this guy's just... Oh, this guy's raiding, I think, a blood hunting province. And there's no mage support or anything here because it's a nap break. So he wasn't expecting anything. So I think this Melkart's trying to kill this whole army. Now this guy has 26 protection, 10% regen. He's got his vampiric weapons to keep fatigue down, berserker to stay in the fight. So it doesn't need the... I guess what's really cool about this is he gets the life drain. So a common item that you put on Melkarts are bloodthorns. He doesn't need the bloodthorn because of that. Gets a certain amount of fatigue back. Also has berserker, so he stays in the fight, so you don't have to put a flesh eater on him. So that's a pair of weapons that you normally put on a Melkart that you don't have to. So you're free to do other weapons or no weapon like he's doing. So he's using his bless here to replace gear that he might otherwise have to make for his Melkarts to serve the role that he wants, which is as thugs and SCs. So then he was just able to do summon Earth Power, Personal Iron Skin, Temper Flesh. He's way up at this level of protection with some regen. He's going to have a lot of life steal, so he's actually gained HP here. So the thing that matters here is the round number. I don't think... Now, another feature of Melkarts is they have Fear 5, so I don't think this is going to go the distance. I think the Melkart wins this. The question is, how much of this stuff does he kill? The other piece to this, sorry, is I hope he snuck a scout under this, although I doubt it, because what you want is someone to maintain the siege to keep whatever that retreats pinned during your throne rush, while this guy stealths away. And you can see the fear effect happening now. Alright, so the Melkart wins. I mean, we knew it would happen, but it's still cool to see. Alright, where was that? I think that was... I'm trying to remember where we were. I think that was Trentspor? No, that was Mighty... No. Agoria? Okay. So he kills 45 elite soldiers, 5 shamblers, 2 slingers. Everything else retreats inside the fort. So that's the important piece. You want to keep this army pinned. At least for a turn. You want to force them to break siege so that you can storm the other fort that you're trying to throne rush. Okay. And then in Rim Mountains, we have a Berytos attack. A whole bunch of Draconians led by Great Hawks. I love this use for Great Hawks, so glad to see that maybe I've gotten False God to adopt this practice. This guy has a Burning Shield though, which could be bad, and then depending on how many Draconians catch slowing weapons, They are kind of spread out, though. They're not on top of each other. So this might work just by harassing down and killing the elves. There are a fair number of herdmen who could be an issue for the commanders here if they're all on attack rear. Sometimes I'd like to do 2 squads of Draconians, one on hold and attack closest just to tie up PD, and then the other to try and harass down and kill mages. We'll see if he did that. It did look like maybe 2 boxes, so we'll see. Everything was on attack rear. Okay. So if these thugs hold out, and I believe there was some chat in, I think, tournament discussion today about Fire Shield. And it seems to happen, I think, even on getting repelled and missing. So this one missed, yeah, and took 6 points of fire damage. Which, in my mind, makes Fire Shield a lot better than it was. If it was different, or maybe I just didn't know. But all these Draconians missing the Jarl and killing themselves is indeed helping this Jarl not get hilariously harassed down. He's only harassed down by 13. And 12 defense is just enough against 9 attack. And then they're starving, so they have shit morale. So they're down at like 12 morale, but I think some of them have less. How many of them are starving? Yeah, so the starving ones are at 8. That's the False God special. Loves having starving troops. Alright. So these elves are holding out. Meanwhile, well, we'll see. Did the herdmen come back? Okay, the herdmen came back, so they aren't going to lose their commander, but I still think they've gone through all the mirror images. This guy has battle fright. They might get this elf. It looks like they got the other elf. Yeah, so they killed Ask. It was the other Jarl here. But he didn't have a fire shield. And he didn't have any weapons, so I think he just got harassed down and killed. Okay, so they killed the fire shield eventually. Now the herdmen have come back. And then the morale takes them. They're starving, they're hungry. The elves are really hard to kill. They killed the 2 boss elves. They're going home now. So Helheim defends here. That was here. So kills 2 Jarls, loses 18 of the Draconians. The rest retreat. So he might be able to collect those, depending on how the retreat went. Then in Delka, we've got Tianchi attacking Mekone. So we've got Fall Bears, we've got Terracotta Soldiers, we've got Forest Trolls. I love iFlyte's Last Stands. He puts in so much effort. It's so much fun to see. We have this Troll Shaman thugged out. The Dancing Shield, he's got gems. He's got a Lion Pelt, GSS. We have two Celestial Masters. One of them's got a couple of gems. Like, this is the kind of effort you love to see in cap defenses. And he's just rolling into some PD. And this would kill a fair number of thugs, too. Alright. Where was that? That was the other... Wait, no. Whoops. Spoiled it. That was Delka. Then Mekone in Winter Peaks. We've got a Scout pinging PD. Where's it? Winter Peaks. Then in Barren Crags, we've got Berytos attacking. Another squad of Draconians. Are these also starving? They are. The classic False God special. But they should be fine here. It's just a little bit of PD and maybe some routed troops. Maybe it's a tiny bit of fort PD. So this might be putting a fort under siege. Well, yeah. Yeah, they do fine. Okay. So that was Barren Crags. Then we've got Hinnom attacking the Mercs, which is a Marverni province. We've got more Roughites. Got a Melkart. We've got a Earth 4 blue cap, which is pretty neat. I thought they only came in at Earth 2. So I'm curious if Stonetroll empowered this guy. Sorry, I should actually look at what's going on over here. So we have some Call of the Winds birds. It's just PD. So let's just take a look at the buff script. Fire Shield. I think both these guys are going to do fire elementals. That's why they're kind of forward deployed a little bit, because attack rare stuff would land on all this stuff. Although this guy's got a Thistle Mace and he's in the very back. Okay. I think part of what happened was I don't think it triggered gem usage. Alright, so that was Mercs. 2 Blackhawks are lost. Oh no. And we have a pair of fights in Yellow Mountains. Berytos attacks Helheim. And then Tianqi attacks Berytos. So let's go ahead and see this one. So we've got more Draconians. I'm assuming these are also starving. Yep. Where was that? It was here. Okay. It's not too bad though. Yeah, this should win. Okay. And then we get to see the spoiled cat come out. Or the fight I spoiled for the cat. Does have a global up. Has a limp. 199 hit points. Now he's not going to get to finish his script, but he will get some of it off because they were on hold and attack rare. And also he's got a fear effect. Fear 10 is going to play havoc on morale 7 Draconians who are starving, although not all of them are starving. Some of them are morale 11, but they're not going to like the fear aura. The cat's also 26 protection now. Yeah, they want nothing to do with that cat. Alright, so kills 5, the rest retreat. Hinnom goes ahead and attacks Spires of Ascension. So we've got a full blitz by Hinnom. My Nikmadu. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. I mean, this is a rare random, I think, for a Jade Sorceress. I don't think it's empowered. I think you can random that. I think they're just going to run into PD, though, right? Yeah, seems like, looks like Fort PD. Few trees kind of holding things up in the back. Yeah, they're not going to have much to say to a Moss Body Melkart. I am curious if the mage retreats or if she goes ahead and stays. I believe she stays because she's animating trees. Yeah, okay. So then in Mountains of Mist, we've got another Melkart. This one's also got a Shade Mail. And a Ring of Regen, Flask of Holy Water. Running into just PD. And then we've got Berytos attacking Helheim. More Draconians, also starving. I'm assuming they all came from the same place, and that's why they're all starving. Okay. Oh, sorry. So that raid succeeds. Let's see. So I think that was here. Loses one Draconian. So in Pergamy, we're in our last few battles. So Helheim attacks, and a lot of them have been pretty interesting. So we've got a Hangadrot with a Shock Trident, Twice Born, going up against PD. Okay. So I'm assuming Soul Vortex, Personal Iron Skin. Okay. There we go. And Blessing. Okay, so not blessed, but might not need it here. Hangadrots are scary. All right. Here we go. So that's here. Then in Indron, we've got another elf. We've got a few elves, so this is another group luck raid. I think this elf is screwed though. So we've got a lizard shaman. Oh my goodness. The pretender is showing up. So he's got Cthulhu's staff. That's where the temporary water gems came from. Ring of Regen, 22 hit points. Is he stealthy? He is. Gonna do some, like maybe Living Waters. Also has a couple of fire drakes behind a bunch of lizard warriors, so we're gonna have some cooked lizards. But this Hellcarl should probably also get cooked. Or I forgot. Lizard warriors are extremely killy, or they'll just kill the elf before it matters. Alright. So, loses one lizard warrior. Hinnom attacks Trackless Ways. We've got another mill cart, this one with flying shoes and a flask of holy water. This is a Valor mill cart. So very high morale, makes for a good general, but this one's going to thug with fire shield. And not much outside today. Although, does not like barbarians, and doesn't have regen on this one. But just enough to take care of all the PD here. Alright, Mekone attacks Wolfen Plain. Finds, or pings it, I guess, because finds the whole Fomorian army here. We got Yetis, we got Storm Drakes, Draconians, we got Morrigans. Here's the Bless, as a reminder. Solar weapons and resists and blur. A whole line of, we've got the High King, temporary death gems. I'm assuming, ooh, I wonder what he does. But they're all doing Soul Vortex, and they've all got a few unmarked to Soul Vortex off of. Well, some of them are doing Misform. Let's see how much gear. We've got a bag of winds on this guy. Storm in a Bottle, Winged Helmet. This guy's Air 5. This might be Army of Mist. What do you do with 2 Death Gems? I don't think it's enough for Rigor. He has Death 4. I thought Rigor was 3, though. What would 2 be? Probably just not thinking of it right now. Maybe some Worgens? We have a bunch of Storm power, so presumably Storm would go up. We have the Fomorian Sorcerer. This is the Pretender. Full 3's Rainbow. And we have a Gnome who's going to do some big nature magic. Now, Fomoria does have pretty decent research, so I presume this would be seeing the research on display if it weren't. Because I don't think this should gem bait. Yeah. So we're not going to see the full script here. But yeah, this army could definitely be pretty tough for Mekone. And then Xibalba looking at Sleeping Mountains. We heard he would full send it, and so it is being full sent. So we've got Sun Guides here, our Jaguars, the big Sacred Scorpions that are a complete pain in the ass to deal with. Nothing inside. Not even enough to go ahead and gem bait. Alright, so this is Master 1. This is the Blood Random. So this guy is allowing him to Sabbath up and bless this army. And I think this was the army we saw bless the other turn. These are probably going to be the Sabbath Slaves. Ooh, we have a Twilight Glaive. Chillin' Thug. So he's Earth 1, so he can do a little bit of self-buffing. Get in there, there's a armor negating Twilight Fatigue effect, but a lot of attack and defense on this Glaive. Does a lot of damage. So pretty cool to see a little army thug thrown in there. Alright, try and help with anything that's high MR. But yeah, he's going to take this for it. I don't think we need to watch this. Loses a few Jaguars, a couple of Sun Guides, kills everything inside. And then in Nofia, we've got 2 independent attacks. I guess. Oh, we do have a Garnet. Okay, is blood hunting with the Garnets. I'm happy now. I think I've been complaining for like 15 turns, but now I'm happy. So I'm sure for many episodes before this, he's going to be complaining at me that he has been recruiting them. All right. Then in Troll Canyons, an air elemental just showing up. Well, fuck this guy in particular. I don't think Blessing's going to save you, buddy. Okay. he delayed a little bit. That was funny. All right. Unusually severe heat this summer. Okay. So that was a lot of battles. Not much happening underground. I don't think we had any action here. Let's go ahead and jump onto the map. We'll take a look at what was formerly, or what still is, Hinnom. But it's an absolute shit show all over the place. So we've got Berytos putting the Throne of Gaia under siege. We have TNG breaking out around their capital in a few different directions. And this is awkward for Helheim and Mekone. Although, I suppose if Mekone doesn't mind bumping Berytos, he can move into this area. But because TNG is kind of moving back and forth across the border, it is kind of hard for the other nations around him to deal with it. Although it is Berytos, Helheim, and Mekone, and potentially Fomoria running around in this area. So it's a very high traffic area. Mekone goes ahead and takes Wachi. So it goes ahead and picks up the fire income from the Citadel, gets this water, the gold, the crone, so also secures the other mundane scorecraft site. And has the Fomorian army here in Wolfen Plain. Wow, Fomoria's got more stuff over here too. Also gets attacked by Hinnom over here. Okay. I'm also trying to keep an eye out for assassins. There's been so many battles, I don't think we're gonna catch groups that got patrolled out. I mean, maybe we could check out a few. We do have the main army moving. The main Berytos army is on the move. It's gonna go like this. So it came from here. It might be starving. And then it's going to go on to Barren Crags. This army, I presume, is going to go down to Helheim. Let's see. It looks like this stuff might have been fighting on its way back from TNC, so it's heading back to the capital region. Where was the big fight? It was here? Okay, so Helheim frees this fort, then loses Sleepy Mountains, which is the throne of the first stage. So that's MR on the Blood Vengeance. And still has his cap freed at least. A very tough position beginning 3v1, but I don't think Berytos is planning to take a lot here. I think Berytos is looking at TNC, which means he might have to fight Mekone over it, but he's also getting attacked by Hinnom now. I think Xibalba is going for these two forts, and maybe this is the border. I don't think they probably... Oh, they did go past. Okay, maybe he was hoping to get something like this. I would presume that Ur's hoping to get these two. Well, Batab pinged that. Maybe Ur's getting Helheim. I'm not sure if they've got like a formal border that they've agreed to. Ur's even got some meteorite guard. Okay. Hinnom has not attacked. I honest to God thought he would go ahead and attack this because it's basically free. And once the word gets out that he's throne rushing, this is going to get a lot harder to take. Because all this stuff can pivot over here. This stuff can come here. He has cracked Sitha, which is one of the thrones he needs. Did he claim one? He didn't claim the fourth one, though. I think he can only claim 2 per turn, so I would have expected him to claim one. He's got this under siege, but it's not cracked. And there's not a lot of depth to this roster. He hasn't even finished killing the Sauromatia AI. I understand attacking this part of Berytos. I don't know about attacking Fomoria, though. I don't know that he had the siege strength for that. I think the play was the Zib Throne. Yeah, because you need 6 thrones. So he needs to get 2 more, and he needs to claim the one he hasn't. Throne of Fortune, Moon, and Crystal. Fortune, Crystal, Moon. So he hasn't claimed the Iron Throne yet. And again, once it gets out that he's throne rushing, it could, I mean, it wouldn't take a lot for Xibalba to crack this, especially with Ocelotls. Not gonna lie, a little perplexed. I would have thought this was the main move. Especially if you're going to go for this, you need to bring enough siege strength. This is a giant fort, so it's 1,000 wall integrity. Maybe he thought it was Marverni. Yeah, I think the main play was this throne. I mean, there's still some time. He needs to claim the Iron Throne. Probably should have done it this turn. And then attacked this. And then been ready to claim these two things. I like the mill carts up here. I think this was a distraction of resources. That probably could have been defending this throne, maybe. He is fighting a lot of nations with a lot more research than him. Marverni's got a lot of research. Fomoria does. Berytos does. Okay. I'm worried this is going to fail now. Alright, and then... yeah, and then we have the 3v1. TNG's hanging on. And then we have Mekone and Fomoria fighting. Seems like Fomoria did pretty well in the raiding game here. So overall, generally kind of winning out versus the PD. So this army doesn't have a lot of retreat routes. I don't know that the Fomorian army would have won, but if it had sallied this turn, it potentially could have been very destructive for Mekone. Mekone's going to have to try and counter-raid some of this. Or he might look at that army and decide it's too scary, or he might try to storm the fort. We'll have to see what he ends up doing. He does... I'm not sure who's got more evocations. Mekone has a fair number of evocations. Fomoria is going to have Storm for Thunder Strikes. Fomoria is also getting attacked by Hinnom. I mean, I see the mill cart in the rough fights. But I also see this giant fucking Marverni army, which can crack this next turn. Yeah. I don't know that this is gonna work. I mean, Stonetroll is a pretty good player. He might pull something out, but as of right now, I'm not seeing how he does. The mill carts are really gonna have to put in a lot of work, and if any unit could, it would be mill carts. Alright, so we see this Berytos army gets pinned. He kind of secured it a little bit here. I forget, do shed fly? Give me 1 second. Okay, of course they fly. They also have storm flight. So... that's gonna be... so, because he's getting shed, this army... now, he's gonna want the mages, so he'll probably go through this, but he might have some stuff that he could send on this throne next turn. And he could do a fair amount of counter raiding and kill some of these mill carts. His army is down here, though. I wonder if he tries to recall part of it, or if he just keeps sending it. Berytos doesn't have any thrones. So unless he plans to kill Berytos, this is a war with only potential upside for Berytos. Because Nilmeria could be potential spoils. We do have a bunch of Sayir heading down. Heading up? Maybe they're heading up? Not sure what they're up to. We have a bunch of Draconians here. Okay. Well, if any nation could do it, it's Hinnom. But I am concerned. I feel like the fourth throne should have been claimed this turn. And he should have attacked Dragonscale so that he could teleport his pretender into claim. Probably should have teleported it in this turn with an army. Maybe a Magic Phase Melkart to clear it. And then you could go ahead and claim and move in other stuff to protect it. And then you've cracked this one, you've claimed it over this end turn. So then you could be flying over here and then you're storming it and then you claim it next turn or something. I think everything will crystallize and become crystal clear next turn. Because Marverni can really spoil this now. All he has to do is move on to Grey Barrier and crack this fort. And then this becomes a must-hold fort for Hinnom. And I'm not sure that Hinnom can kill this army. I think Marverni has a lot of tools to be able to kill Melkarts with. From Soul Slay, Enslaved Mind, Gifts from Heaven, Weapons of Sharpness, Army Thugs, his Trinity of Titans. He's got Devils. I mean, he's got so many tools to kill a Melkart with. Okay. Well, that was a tremendous amount of action. I've already got an hour and a half, so I'm getting a little bit tired. I think Helheim did a pretty good job trying to defend this turn. Kind of took stock the first turn, but then really turned on the heat this turn. Did take some attrition, but you're going to take attrition in a 3v1. Hinnom is helping him by alleviating some of the pressure from Berytos, potentially. But he's still facing the full might of and Xibalba. Mekone's not going to really be able to help him because Mekone's fighting Fomoria and TNC. And then Marverni's also fighting Hinnom. And yeah, I think that's where we're at. Let's go ahead and take a look at graphs. Is this more sites? Sorry, got distracted. Okay, so yeah, graphs. So provinces, Hinnom up way up this turn, but I think he's going to lose a lot of it next turn. We'll have to wait and see, though. And only the thrones matter for his throne rush. Let's see. And then a lot of players are down. Fomoria's up a little, but you can see Hinnom's just attacking a lot of people. And then Helheim did enough to stay even. And then TNG's up a little. So coming back from the dead a little bit. In terms of forts, Hinnom's on top. We got Xibalba and Berytos. For income, we've got And then we've got Hinnom actually cracking into second. It takes a tremendous number of provinces for Hinnom to get a reasonable amount of income because of all the unrest that the Roughite warriors and Melkarts cause. And then we can see some of the Scales nations are down a bit this turn. because it's an extra hot summer, some of the temperature scales might have moved against him a little bit. That could be also part of the reason some of the incomes are down. For gem income, we've got still out in front, but Hinnom with a big upswing. Now right up there with Xibalba. Blood income is Berytos followed by Xibalba said he's at about 50. 4, 5, 6. So Berytos is probably at about 150. Which puts getting close to 100 blood slaves a turn. So he started ratcheting this up with those circle masters and those garnets. Did take him a little while to start getting the hunting going, but I'm very happy to see turning into a blood power. I think it's just really interesting. It's not that often that you get those kind of like double indies like that, where you can legitimately start to turn into a bit of a blood power. And then for research, Berytos still way ahead. And Marverni, and Fomoria, and then Hinnom's down here. So this is who Hinnom's picked to fight with. Now, Fomoria is also fighting Mekone, so that's a 2v1. Marverni's in a 1v1, though, and has a huge research lead. Berytos is he's fighting 2 people. But Helheim doesn't, I don't think they have a lot of stuff in that area. He's also going to be kind of fighting TNG a little bit. But then he's also got to respond to the Hinnom Throne Rush. But this is going to be a lot of research showing up to attack Hinnom. And I'm not sure that Hinnom's ready. Really relying on these mail carts to do a lot of work. Needs some intricate timing and a little bit of luck. I do think he should have taken the Xibalba throne. We might see a magic phase onto it over this intern from the Helheim or the Hinnom Pretender to try and secure that, but we'll see. Marverni cracking his fort, though. Assuming Marverni moves there, I think that's the obvious play. Could be a death knell for this throne rush because he still hasn't claimed the 4th throne. Still needs to claim that. Still needs to have his prophet fly over to somewhere else. I don't think he's got the research for a Ring of the False Prophet unless he traded for one. And then we've got Dominion. So we've got Hinnom, and Xibalba. And then army size, we've got still increasing in army size even while fighting a war. Very just insane recruitment. He does have riches from beneath to power through this. We see Berytos taking a down tick. That's from a lot of dead Draconians, because this graph is based on size points. And then, yeah, because that mail cart didn't kill a lot of stuff. And then Xibalba with the down tick from the Lost Battle. Hinnom's about even. And then Helheim's down a bit. He's defended a fair amount, but also taken some attrition. It has not been bloodless for him, and he's losing a lot of income because he's just getting triple teamed in the mid game, which is pretty rough because that's where everyone's got research and stuff. And so because he gets stretched thin, he starts having to make more risky plays, like the group luck with like 3 hell herdings or whatever they were. The herdmen. Sorry, and the Hellcarl. Different little plays like that. Having to try and stretch everything super far, it gets really difficult. And the mother of all armies from is on its way. And then we've got Hinnom first in ascension points. So yeah, this army has 420 troops-ish. It's got hydras, gelatinous cubes, salmays, all sorts of stuff. There's still large armies in proper to guard the interior. Looks like this province rebelled, which is a somewhat rare event, where it'll just rebel and become militia. So he loses that. That was an event this turn. I wonder if anything got patrolled out. We do have an assassination here. Oh, that was the air elemental. Okay. Just kind of looking around, seeing if there's any assassinations. Should check the Mekone region. Mekone gets crypties. Not seeing anything. Okay. Oh, what was this? Oh, that was on the Garnet. Right. Okay, so oh, 328 corpses. Okay. So yeah, I think that's where I'll leave off here. I know this was a really long one, nearly 2 hours. I hope you're enjoying it, because I'm enjoying it a lot. We've had a lot of really interesting raids here, a lot of interesting fights. I hope you're okay that I took some time to dig through them, or at least show them off for those who wanted to dig through them. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.